Folks, what's the crack? Welcome to another episode of Meet the Members, where we have the chance to sit down and get to know some of our incredible residents who call Ormeau Baths their home for their business, home for their work, home for their professional life, whatever way you kind of want to say it. I'm self-employed, I don't really have a business, it's just me at this point, and there's a lot of other people like myself. We're here with wonderful Mark McCracken today. Would you describe yourself as an entrepreneur or a businessman or a contractor or a freelancer or a self-employed person? Because like there's a lot of lingo going on. Like what do you tell your granny or your family?
I think as you grow older you tend to lose the titles. You just don't care.
I'm too young, you see. I'm still holding on to identities. I'm a podcaster.
I just try and speak to people and help them find better opportunities in their career. I think you could call that recruitment, you could call that headhunting, you could call that bluffing. It's a lot of things. So I guess a small business owner. Yeah. I think entrepreneur. I always thought entrepreneur you had to have a few businesses to call yourself that. Like, and I don't.
Yeah.
Nor do I want to anymore.
Yeah.
I just run a wee business, pretty much.
Cool.
Doing recruitment for tech companies. That's kind of what I do.
It's a good niche as well.
It's cool. It's fun.
What name are we rocking with?
I trade under folklore. Not necessarily sure why.
Yeah.
But that's what it says.
We all need something to hang our hat on, basically, don't we?
Okay, no, it's nice. I really love it because most of the people I speak to, I find, are in a similar sort of stage of life to me. So we have a lot of like stuff in common. I was going to say synergy there, but this isn't businessy.
There's a lot of opportunity for collaboration.
A lot of collaboration.
Yeah, excellent, bro. Jargon. How did you get into? Because you're a connector. Like you connect really talented people with organizations and businesses that need those specific really talented people. How did you get into that mechanism? Because it's not something that you learn in school. You can't do a degree in recruitment or anything, can you?
I don't think so. Yeah,
so it's a bit of a dark art.
You're bigging it up. No, to be honest, I think if you're in a way empathetic to people's situations, careers, aspirations, then you'd be good at it. I think if you communicate well, if you can connect well, easily, and provided you've actually a good opportunity for them, I think it's a pretty straightforward job. But to get into it, like there's a few routes. I took probably the one that's less travelled. I just didn't fancy. I guess going back to what we first chatted about, I guess I wanted to be self-employed. Yeah. I kind of feel like I'm not best suited to work under somebody. I can do, but I prefer not to. So you can go down the route of working for a big recruitment body, big company. I just didn't want to do that. I kind of fell into it, kind of genuinely felt how hard could it be. Turns out it's really hard.
And like tell me about like the state of the market currently. So like I give you my only comparisons, okay, and they're totally inappropriate comparisons. Sure. Like I just bought a car, okay. So you know whenever you just like buy something, you're the master of that. Like for like 2 weeks, and I just heard like because of Corona, like we're dealing with like such little stock, and there's like 30% stock. And I was speaking to someone in the housing market the other day, and they were saying we don't have enough houses to sell. There's too many buyers. Like what's the scale or the seesaw like in the recruitment world? Is there too much talent, or is there too much opportunity?
Oh, definitely opportunity.
Really?
Hugely. I think there's so many companies that are in really exciting stages, and it's class to see. I think for the economy and for people to kind of pursue their dreams after the last 18 months, I think it's really cool to see. It's just everybody is. And I think with that, because it's expansion, it's new growth, new development, there's maybe not the resources to support that. So it's nearly the ones with the most compelling job offers or opportunities or problems that we're trying to solve. They're the ones that can attract the best talent. Yeah. And that's why hopefully they use me to go find them.
That's awesome. So in your experience, like, because you specifically work in tech, do you feel that like there's enough local talent to satisfy the need here, because you hear people saying like, you know, Belfast is like the tech capital of blah blah blah, and it's like a really exciting place for tech and tech, but like
jargon.
yeah, a lot of jargon, but like, are we producing enough talented tech people to meet the demand on our doorstep?
Wholeheartedly, absolutely, genuinely. There's so many talented folk around the corner in Belfast, across our country. Like, it's phenomenal. It really is. I think, to be fair, I think the university route, Queen's University of Ulster, do a really good job of helping pave the way for that. I think if you're anyway minded to be competent as a software engineer or a developer or designer, I wasn't, which is really funny because that's kind of what I do now.
Yeah.
If you asked me to code something, I couldn't. But I think if you have the head for it, I think those universities actually pave a really good way of paving that road. But saying that, I think there's obviously going to be people that, especially now, like the amount of people that have started businesses in their bedrooms, YouTubers, TikTokers, like guys that are 16 starting e-commerce businesses. Yeah,
fella downstairs, huge prank website, and
amazing.
was he 17?
Amazing. 16.
Crazy.
No, he's 18.
Crazy.
Class. He was an awesome guy.
Yeah.
So naturally there's going to be people that are just into software or learning a new language in their bedroom. So and those are the people that actually do the best, I think, because they've just this natural sort of grasp of languages and problem solving, that sort of way. So yes and no, but I think certainly universities have done a really good job of doing that.
So like, if anything, like people who work with young people and trying to encourage people down certain career paths, they should probably be coming to people like you to say like, where are the big gaps in the market?
Sure.
So like, if like let's say there was like an 18-year-old listening to this and they're deciding what degree to go and do, where, like, what type of roles do you see the biggest need for in the businesses that you work with? Is there like a particular like type of skill set in the tech world that people are like dying for or they can't get enough of, or is it a wee bit of this, wee bit of that, wee bit of all over the place?
There's a lot of terminology and jargon. Do we break the fourth wall here? Do we chat to the camera?
Do you spike the lens? Do you look at the lens? I do it every now and then. I'm like, if I address people, I'm like, yeah, you know, you 18-year-old people listening there,
you guys. Certainly yes. Right now, I think tech generally, like, I think without doing like a 10-year degree to be a doctor or dentist or anybody like that, you can go in, do a like 5 years, within like 1 or 2 years you could be earning seriously good money and doing it in a really nice working way for a company that really values you, I think. So to do that, like, if you're a full stack engineer, if you learn both sides of the coin, if you're like a designer, a product designer, really anything, to be honest. I think in that kind of sort of sphere of technology, I think there's so many different avenues to make a living at, and really intriguing, fun, interesting sort of ways to do it. Yeah.
And I really like, I never actually thought about this before, I like the way that you said about the doctor-dentist scenario, because I have a friend who's a doctor, and if I'm honest, they don't enjoy it anymore. And it's very hard for them to pivot out of that, because you're always going to be in that medical bubble. Whereas tech, you can really, there's a lot of kind of flexibility where you can go.
Scale and actually solve problems on a global scale. If you look at the guys who even came through the Baths.
Oh, crazy.
Dr. Phil McCracken.
Yeah.
Dr. Jason McCune. Big household names now.
That's right.
This is like nearly like a
entrepreneurial famous.
This is like Joe Rogan here. Like commentating a sporting event or something.
We're commentating about the entrepreneurial scene in Belfast. Like and then this guy got this huge investment. Can you believe it?
Unreal.
How did you end up in the Baths?
I think it was actually, I can't remember who you were speaking to. It actually might have been Jason McCracken, Dr. Jason.
Really?
I think back when with Neurovans and Modius, they took office space here. They went through Propel, I think, and I thought, oh, that's awesome. Like he sent me, I had met him for breakfast or coffee sometime, and then he told me he was leaving in here, and I was like, I think I've heard of this place, and I checked out. This is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I think that was like 27. I think when did the last open? Was it 2017?
I think it was 17. Yeah.
And I remember coming to get a tour to go around it.
Yeah.
I just thought, this is class.
Yeah.
And I think I can't remember. Yeah. So I've been probably here on off since then.
Crazy, man.
So
like, what I find really interesting is you obviously have like startups, and then maybe have a team of like two. I mean, sometimes it's one, but you have 2-3 people. They're both working on the same thing, and then there's like this other layer of the baths where it's like guys like you and me and Mark Todd and Nick Patterson, where it's like this guy's doing photography over here, this guy's doing architecture over here, this guy's doing podcasting, this guy's doing recruiting. So we're completely disconnected from each other, but yet all of us get immense value in coming to this place.
Easily.
Why do you come here, and like what is the benefit of someone like yourself? Because let's be honest, you could work anywhere. You work in your bedroom, you could work in a coffee shop, you could go sit in the bar and work if you wanted to. But why do you take the time and the effort and the resources to like set up shop here?
I think in a very short space of time, I think due to the people who are involved in co-founding this place, there's a legacy. Yeah. And there's a name, and if you're associated with that name, it's good for business. If you casually say, "Oh, I take office space at Ormeau Baths," people know what it is, know what it's about. Yeah. Know the people that have went before us and paved the way. Totally. And as an investment, it's severely good value for money. Yeah, it is. Like it really
it's so crazy.
Just for the friends you make, like we've met. Yeah. And the amount of like adventures we've been on. Crazy. And I think certainly for me now, as someone in their 30s, which is weird to say, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, own it.
Fourth wall.
All you 30-year-olds out there and plus, own your situation.
There's a crowd of us guys that are in similar sort of positions, and it's great fun. There's a lot of connectability. We go for lunch. I think there's drinks tomorrow. We start a swim club.
Mate, tell us about the Ormeau Baths Swims Club. Unbelievable.
I think I said to Ian Brown one day, because he lives around there. Yeah. He said, "Oh yeah, I swim all the time." I thought he was kind of joking, because I'd only got really into it over the summer, and me and him went one morning at like 6 a.m. It was amazing, and from that, been a pile of times, and then there's a lot of other guys, like so Danny Stewart downstairs, I bumped into him a few times like mornings, and he's like, "Oh, just back from a swim." I was like, "Oh, I was back from a swim." Yeah. And then we just all started swimming together. Brilliant. So it's class. It's really fun. It's colder now, October, but October probably when this goes out. But so there's I think there's a football team on stage. There's definitely a lot of like drinks and just events, and I think that's a big part of it. I think because guys like us, it can be lonely. Big time. Like to really dress down self-employment. Yeah. You wouldn't really advise it to a lot of people. I think like to all you people, like I think it's just hard. It is. Like personally, right now, I think it's a real slog. Yeah. Because of what I mentioned earlier, like it's a real opportunistic market with less resource, and it's just a grind. And I don't like grind, hustle, all that. Yeah. Sort of terminology, and it's really unglamorous, and it's literally just resilience. Yeah. And to have people that get that and understand that and are in similar sort of positions but aren't competing, is really cool. That's such a good point. Yes, so true. We're not competing with each other. Not competing. Wow. But we're in same sort of lanes, but we're so to have that camaraderie like is really, really nice. It's really supportive as well, and I think because it can be really crap. See, especially if you work at home, or if you're like everybody in the whole world in the last 18 months, like we've been sitting at home displaced from everybody, and life is better together. Really, it is, and totally. That's really cliche and warm and fuzzy, but it's true. Where's the meaning otherwise? Yeah. you know.
Yeah.
So for me, being a part of a community that actually you can resonate with, you can have a lot of camaraderie, things in common, actually a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
It's really like a respite for business, like it really is.
Yeah,
it's really cool. And I know there's tons of other outlets for that across the town. I'll not name any of them for legal reasons.
They're not sponsors of this podcast, so
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can't
so-
mention them, you know.
Those names that don't exist.
But you're right. There is a lot of physical places to
Sure,
work.
yeah.
There is, there are very few communities
Sure.
that you can plug into.
And that's probably been the big main difference I've seen, because I've friends in them and I've been to them,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't work there.
Sure.
I really like here.
Yeah.
And I really do, and I think it's just value for money. But not even that, it's an investment that you see returning.
Yeah. It's cool. 2 more questions. One silly, one serious.
Hit me.
I don't even know like if you're even interested in this anymore. If you could have any watch in the world, what watch would you have on your wrist?
I don't know. There's like, I think a watch that I've earned.
Yeah.
That I've like, I'm not necessarily materialistic.
Sure.
I like a good pizza and a glass of wine, and
Oh, mate, who doesn't?
you know, or something like that.
Are you
Now,
white or red wine?
I love red.
Red, and me too. I'll have a wee bit of red tonight. Sure.
I'm completely obnoxious to what's going on. I just don't like it. But I think, but at the same time, like, so me and my girlfriend, we were in London in September, start of the month, and went to Harrods just for
I mean, why not? You're
why
there.
not sightseeing.
Yeah.
Went
It's
to
a
this-
tourist attraction,
went to
let's be
this
honest.
watch boutique. Seen this watch, £75,000.
Wee bums for it.
Ridiculous. Like, how could you justify that?
Sure.
And I wouldn't be something like that, because after we were walking to like Hyde Park, and I said to her, I was like, if I had that watch in my wrist, it wouldn't really. What would it add to
Yeah.
that journey from Harrods to there?
Yeah.
It would add nothing. So I think maybe a watch to signify something, maybe like a special occasion. There's no real cost to that. I don't know. So
Yeah. So it's more of the symbol of the work that you've put in,
Yeah.
rather than like the status of having like a Submariner or something.
even though that'd be class,
Yeah.
but I don't think I would really want to show people or care, like, because it's not about that.
Yeah.
I think it's about personally.
Awesome. Mate. Final question then. If you could go back to Mark McCracken in 2017, just as he was walking through the front doors of the Baths, and you had like a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds of his time, what advice would you give to him? Because that's like, it's 4 years now. Like that's kind of crazy.
And I think, especially my entrepreneurial journey.
You like, if I literally was just thinking in my head, you stole the words out of my mouth. I was like, Mark's business journey, like in those 4 years, has been crazy.
Yeah,
Like, it's been unbelievable.
It's been, and it's just
It's like Pokemon. It's like watching a Pokemon evolve.
I guess in a really self-aware way, I'm proud of myself.
As you should be.
Like,
Yeah.
I think because I've tried. I think that's just seeing people here and being inspired by them and going like, oh, like I can have a go at that. And I think for like the foray into events, and even how I've pivoted my own business to do what I'm doing now, I think certainly I've got so much inspiration and I think like encouragement to kind of go that way. Actually, mentioned me earlier, Ian's been phenomenal at that. Mark Dowd's been phenomenal at that.
Yeah.
There's been so many people. Claire's amazing at that.
Yeah.
Just to actually get around you and encourage you to think bigger, think differently, and I think if I didn't have that, like, I probably would still be the same person I was. I know obviously I am, but I think doing the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
And just wouldn't have been sustainable. It wouldn't have been able to develop it so you can actually live a life outside of work and actually enjoy things and, you know, grow up.
Totally.
So
Totally.
I think what I would say to him would be, don't be afraid to try. Don't really. I wouldn't be worried about what other people think or say. I think when you lose that, it's so life changing.
Yeah.
And don't take yourself too seriously. Actually enjoy yourself.
Yeah. And
be happy with the smaller things.
Brilliant, mate.
Because I think
that's everything.
That's contentment 101, and being happy, and like it's not the big exit from a business, or it's not the big, I don't know, like business class seats or all that kind of stuff. It's literally just being, oh, I've did meaningful work there.
Yeah.
I feel like I've helped somebody. I feel like it's a good justification of my time, my resources, all that kind of stuff, and I think if you can do it, then that's success.
Totally. And like what I love about what you do is, like, you know, I think we joked about it earlier, it's like you kind of make dreams come true. Like, you know, you can place somebody in their dream job, and like that like will forever change their life, whether they stay there for 30 years or 3 years. It could change the trajectory of their life, you know.
100%. Like there's candidates. I don't even like the term candidates. I really think that's really personless, like soulless, all that kind of stuff. Personless isn't a word.
Personless makes sense. But Shakespeare made up words. Why can't we? You know.
Sure. I think there's definitely guys that the opportunities of help them get. They're able to have their second child, get a new house, increase their mortgage, expand their kingdom a bit. That's been amazing to help with, play a small part in. But it was really rewarding. I love it.
Awesome, mate. Well, thank you very much for your time today. It was good. Boom.
Yesterday I did this here.
That's how you give yourself away when you're overseas. Everyone's like, yeah, this guy's definitely like from Ireland or something. For you guys too, boom. Thanks for checking this out. Really appreciate you spending this time with myself and Mark, getting to know Mark a bit better. And if you'd like to find out some more about our incredible members, you can head to the other episodes in this series on the Meet the Members page. Where you can have a quick little kind of cup of coffee. I should really start bringing coffee into this, because I think say a cup of coffee with our residents. So when you see that in future episodes, you know that you know we're constantly improving and getting better. And if you are not a member of the Baths yet, and you are interested in coming and making this place your professional home, whether it's just yourself, whether it is you and your team, or if you have a business idea and you're interested in kind of exploring that, you can come and see us. We can give you a tour of the building. And we'd love to show you how we can really add a lot of value to your business and a community to help you succeed as well. So thanks for being here, and hope you have a great rest of your day.
Cool.